Okay, so check this out. My parents fly in from Michigan to come see me when I was in probably my mid to late 20s. I lived in Atlanta, they lived in Michigan. They flew in for the weekend to see me, and I was so pumped, right? Like, my parents and I are really close. I pick them up from the airport. I want to take them to this really cool sort of place, sit outside, overlooking the city, a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day. And so we get to this great restaurant. We're sitting outside. We've got a round top, and it's the three of us. And I'm like pumped, right? I'm with my mom and dad who, flew in just to see me all weekend. I was so excited. So we sit down at this great restaurant. We're kind of hanging out, and all of a sudden my phone is like ringing constantly. I mean, it's ringing, one athlete coach after another. And so I look down, I see the name, and I grab every call. I grab every call. I jump up from the table, walk over under this old tree that was right there, and take every single call. And after like the fourth call, my mom says to me, she says, "What do they want?" And I literally, it was like I turned the fire hose on her. I go, "Oh, wow, Mom, that was a golfer and his clubs didn't arrive and he's freaking out and I got to get the manufacturer to build some stuff for him for this week." I said, and that was one of my coaches. He thinks a job's going to open up and he's kind of interested in it. And, it's like, well, this is one of my baseball players. He thinks he's getting traded. I mean, and so I literally go at her with all these incredibly important things that are coming at me. And she sort of looks at me, and I could tell she was completely unimpressed. And at some level, kind of annoyed that I was taking every single one of these calls when they just landed and had come down to see me. And, as I reflect on that, it was a very special moment for me to be with them at that time. But yet I was totally unfocused. I wasn't present at all for them in that moment. And so I want to challenge you to do something. And I think so many people in life right now are reevaluating their priorities. They're reevaluating where they spend their time, where they spend their energy, all those things. And so I'll tell you about an exercise. This is an exercise I do sometimes with an audience when I'm speaking. And, it's for them to identify. I ask them, so I'm going to ask you this. And what I want to do is I'm going to tee this up for you. And then I want you to hit pause and do it and then come back. So I'm trusting you. So I want you to identify the 5 most important things in your life. The 5 most important things in your life. So here's what I want you to do. Take 5 separate little sheets of paper, just 5 little sheets of paper, and write on each one thing, one of the 5 most important things. So on each sheet of paper, you'll have one thing. So hit the pause button, do that. Okay, now you're back. You did it. You did your 5 things. You've got the 5 most important things in your life, right, on 5 separate sheets of paper. So I often see people have, faith, health, family, all those kinds of things. Okay, so you got the 5. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick up the least most important of those 5, and I want you to crumple it up. And I want you to just set it in front of you. Okay, so now you're down to 4. Okay, so now look at those. Those are the 4 most important things in your life. It's kind of big, right? Now what I want you to do is I want you to pick another one. I want you to crumple it up, and I want you to let it go. Put it in front of you. Okay, so now you have 3. You know where we're going. All right, now what I want you to do, look at those 3. Now again, pick the least most important of those 3 and crumple it up and put it in front of you. Now you're left with 2. You know where we're going. All right, now what I want you to do is crumple up one more. Crumple it up. This is tough. I get it. Crumple it up and put it in front of you. This is an exercise. I got you. And now you're looking at the one most important thing in your life. So here's my question, right? Are you giving that one thing enough of your time and energy? Does that one thing know that it matters that much to you? Is that one thing in your calendar every day? Is it something that you're intentional about ensuring you live into throughout your days and weeks? So here's the reality, right? We live in a world where we can probably have more than one thing that we focus on. So you can uncrumple the other 5 and pull them back in. But here's my challenge to you. Are you intentional? Are you disciplined about ensuring that the one thing, the 3 things, the 5 things, probably can't have too many more than that, are living inside of your days and your weeks and your months? Because the mistake that I made inside of that moment when my parents came to visit is they are, and in that moment were, top 1, 2, 3 things in my life for sure. But I wasn't behaving that way at all. So I would challenge you, be intentional, be disciplined. And this is something that is up to us. You own this. But at the end of the day, if we're going to live into those 1, 2, 3 things that matter the most to us, it requires discipline. It requires intentionality. And it's up to you. Thanks so much.